With the recent announcement that Flashback is stepping away, DRX has announced a new signing for 2026, and that's Hermes. And I've seen a lot of people asking, who is Hermes? Well, let me tell you, because there's actually quite a bit of data about this guy, because he's been playing since before the VCT Pacific days. When he first debuted, he debuted mostly as a controller, and a lot of people looked at him and said, this guy has a really good read on the game. He's able to just look at what's happening on the map, take in the information from his teammates, and be able to take that space, clear areas, or find these timings that are going to help your team kind of progress through the rest of the round. And I think for a lot of rookies, that's very tough. So there was a lot of, I think, hope that he would be one of the more talented players to come out of the Korean scene. Now, obviously, he never quite broke into Tier 1, and I do wonder if that's simply because his potential was never fully realized, whether that's, because of lack of effort on his part, or whether it's because he just never really had the right pieces and coaching staff or teammates. That remains to be seen, and I would say the best test would be somewhere like DRX, where we know the coaching staff is great at identifying and developing that talent, right? Bringing out the best in your players to make them competitive world-class players. So personally, I'm actually kind of excited for this journey because I've always thought that Hermes could do just at least a bit more. I've always felt that he was better than where he currently was, being in challengers for the past, several years. And so I'm quite excited to see what he's able to do. Now, he was also competing last year on BNK DRX in Korea. He was playing a lot of that second entry, things like the Yoru, a lot of Flash Initiator. And then I mentioned before, he was playing controller as well. So he's a very flexible player, which I think is going to be great for DRX. Obviously, his most recent roles kind of line up with Flashback. So in terms of compositions, they shouldn't have to juggle all these role swaps. Obviously, the chemistry is still going to need some time because I think Hyunmin and Flashback had really developed a very fluid tag team duo type of gameplay. So that will come with some time. And mechanically, not many players can stand up to Flashback. So I don't think it's going to be fair to look at it just in terms of can he do what Flashback did well, but overall, can he still provide a similar impact value over time? Because I do believe it'll be a little bit shaky at kickoff. But, even though I would knock them down a notch or two on things like a tier list and maybe their kickoff matches will be a little bit more volatile to predict, I expect by end of year, they should still be a very strong candidate for a top 4 team. So I do have a lot of faith that they'll still be okay. The remaining players are still very strong. And something I hadn't thought of was Hermes was actually teammates with Freeing as well on D plus Kia in 2024. Now, that team didn't do that well, but I'm just saying that there's familiarity between the players in terms of having worked together as well. And he's been around the block. He's played against, the other DRX players and things like that. So he should be very familiar with the other players as well.